What's up, credit family? It's your boy, Mr. Credit Banking, and I am back again with another video. In today's video, we're going to discuss emergency funds, why you need them. Guys, I just want to kind of tell you guys my horror story about emergency funds and why you need them. So a couple years ago, I needed an emergency fund and I didn't have one. And I have this crazy story that's like, wow, if I only had an emergency fund, my life would be a whole lot different. And probably led into why I'm here on YouTube today, because of I didn't have an emergency fund when a life-changing event happened. So a couple years ago, right before I lost my job, I actually took out a loan on my 401k, which is a bad idea, guys. Don't do that. Anyways, I took out a loan on my 401k because I didn't have a budget, which I strongly encourage you guys to get a budget. And so I was basically living paycheck to paycheck, which I strongly recommend that you guys do not get a budget and don't live paycheck to paycheck and live within your means. It's very important. Anyway, so I wasn't living within my means, and my money would come in and it would go out, and my credit cards were maxed up. It was a mess. Anyway, so my solution to my problem was to take out a loan for my 401k. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but looking back, it was a horrible idea. And then like 3 months later, before I can make that first payment on my 401k, I got laid off from my job. In fact, on my birthday, happy birthday to me, I no longer have a job. And you think, oh, not a big deal. It's a huge deal. Most people say, oh, I just rely on unemployment. But unemployment was not even, couldn't even pay half of my bills and mortgage. It could not take care of me. So I had to make that tough decision. I said, hey, I'll pay my regular bills to keep the lights on and so forth, and I'm not going to pay my mortgage. And it took me 3 months to find a replacement job. So I fell 3 months behind on my mortgage. And well, I found a job. I can get caught up. But I don't think we think this through. Okay, I have a job now. How do you get caught up? When you get a job, you usually get like a sign-in bonus. Here you go, 3 months worth of your the money to pay your bills, so you can get caught up. I'm now 3 months behind on my mortgage, and I have to get caught up. I still have to live my life, put gas in my car, pay my regular bills, continue to pay my mortgage so I don't fall farther behind, and still come up with that money for 3 months worth of mortgage payment. But if I had a emergency fund, this would have been a non-issue. I could have continued to make my mortgage payment once I looked for a job. And because I didn't do that, now I'm 3 months behind on my mortgage, and I have to come up with a way of getting caught up. And so to get caught up on my mortgage, I ended up getting like a side hustle, and I got caught up. But it took me 2 years to get caught up. And the problem with that is taking me 2 years, although I had only fallen 3 months behind on my mortgage. The part that I think a lot of people are missing, if it took me 2 years to get caught up, that means I had 24 late payments, guys. 24 late payments. 24 late payments. So I was basically 30 to 60 days past due for 2 years. 2 years, imagine that. That's right now on my credit report. I've been late for 2 years. I ruined my credit for the time, a temporary thing, but for the time I ruined my credit because I did not put away just 3 months of my income. That could have been a non-issue. And then the stress that it caused me for 2 years. Just imagine the stress that I was under for 2 years because I didn't want to put away any money for emergency fund. Guys, if you haven't done so already, go start an emergency fund ASAP, dude. You never know when you're going to lose that job. Start an emergency fund right away, because not having that money put aside causes so many other problems that you can't even think about. And guys, in the 2 years that I was working to get caught up on my mortgage and destroying my credit, other emergencies will happen. One winter in those 2 years, my water heater went out. And guess what? I didn't have the money. Still didn't have an emergency fund. I was working to pay off, get caught up on my credit cards. Another thing I didn't tell you guys was that my credit cards were maxed out. So I was in the process of paying off my credit card debt and getting caught up on my mortgage. And guess what? Another emergency happened in the middle of winter. My water heater went out, and I have no money to replace my water heater. Guys, I think it was like $1,500. I didn't have $1,500 to replace my water heater. Get an emergency fund going right away. These emergencies are going to happen. I know I've seen other people's videos out there saying there's no way these emergencies can all, what are the chances that these emergencies happen all at the same time? It happens. Not only will it happen at the same times, it can happen month after month after month. And if you don't have that emergency fund, you have to find a way to take care of that emergency. Get into debt, borrow from your friends and family. It's going to happen. We can't ignore it, guys. Get that emergency fund started right away. There's lots of ways where you can fund that emergency fund. There's plenty of videos on YouTube will explain to you how to fund that emergency fund and where to keep that money. Only thing I'm telling you my story to encourage you guys, because I think a lot of people think it can't happen to them. I'll figure it out when it happens. Yeah, you'll figure out when it happens, but the problem it creates and the havoc it's going to create and the stress it's going to create to you when you go into these problems without that emergency fund, you can solve that problem starting today by starting that emergency fund. That'll help you relieve so much stress by getting that emergency fund started. You're going to be one less thing you have to worry about if and when that emergency happens. Lost a job, some type of medical issue where you need a lot of cash, or you might need to help a loved one. Get that emergency fund going, guys, so you don't have to live through the horror of 2 years that it took and the destruction of my credit because I didn't want to get started on an emergency fund. Guys, we all need an emergency fund. Anyways, guys, let me know if you have a horror story similar to mine. Leave a comment down below and let me know if you had a horror story very similar to mine, or what you think of my story. What could I have done differently to not allow myself to be in such a mess? Hey, maybe you can make some suggestions to other people what they can do if they find themselves in a similar situation that they don't have an emergency fund. But I recommend, guys, that you start that emergency fund right away. This was a crazy story, but I wanted to share with you guys so you guys can see the importance of having an emergency fund. If this video was helpful, guys, give me a thumbs up. Leave some comments down below. Hit the subscribe button. If it's red, make it turn some other color other than red. That's all I have for you guys today. Mr. Credit Banking out. Peace.